Welcome to the Backyard Professor Responds videos. Now look, I need to explain right up front. I am not technically a debunker of UFOs. I want to believe in them, and I do believe that they're real. And that's my bias. And so I have to exercise extra caution when I'm viewing UAP videos or analyzing various types of photographs and interpretations of those videos and photographs, right? So I have to be extra vigilant. I have to be extra careful, which is the meaning of being critical. And I have finally found some decent UFO footage. And I want to share some of this with you tonight, and I will explore quite a bit of footage tonight. Some I will share why I'm not convinced. Others I will share why it has good potential, etc. And I will analyze the various issues. And like I say, I'm not a professional debunker. I haven't done this for 25, 30 years. And so I'm super duper extra good at this. I will miss details, etc. That's why I look forward to seeing your comments in the bottom. I will share the 4 videos that I produce clips tonight in my response to. I will share their links in the description so that if you care to, you can watch the full videos. I'm taking them clips and I'm putting my context onto it. He has his own interpretation, views, etc., and I have mine. So I'm going to, let's start. So here we have a nighttime capture of this, and wow, check this out. A guy walks through an alley and sees this coming up the street. Now, is this CGI? That's the question. Unfortunately, the video is quite fuzzy at this point, but he's not the only one who captures this. Another gentleman at a different angle captures this exact same video in the streets. Fascinating. There it is again. Now that's pretty clear. You know, so many people say, yeah, and then this lady elsewhere in the town also captures it. And some people say, well, they're always too fuzzy. And now that we have one that's crystal clear, are we going to say, yeah, that's too clear, it's just CGI? I don't think this is CGI. There's multiple witnesses. Yeah, part of it's fuzzy, but part of it's not. That's what we're looking for. We want clear videos or photos, etc. So in my opinion, that's pretty good. That's not too bad. I think the color is interesting. The shape is interesting. Its movement is a little iffy. I think that would look more like the way a drone would fly. It has a little bit of a wobble to it, you know, like it's a slow flying drone. I have personally never seen a drone of this shape, but that's not to say it's not a drone. But it's this type of video that I can get my teeth into a little bit. Now, I've got to confess, I watched these on my lunch hour today. And so I have not put a lot of time into finding what anyone else has said about these videos or these video clips. So this is just me and my first look without any kind of in-depth research at all. But I am thinking that one's a drone. But it was pretty decent footage. This was in July 2024, and this was done in Brazil. Notice here something interesting, though, that after image that we're about to see right here. What's that all about? That's kind of iffy. Is this shot through a pane of glass is the question. Yeah, it's a metallic object. It's very similar to the pilot who captured his object that we'll see here in just a second, but that's a pretty good clear picture. It's very triangular, kind of a diamond-looking shape, and it reminds us of this shot by the pilot on the Cessna. That's kind of interesting. And what else is remarkable is this same object is also seen in Miami, Florida. And this is the people on the camera trying to figure out, they're talking and they're saying, oh my gosh, the thing's not moving. And it's a little hazy from that distance, but it looks pretty much like the same object. Yeah, the shape, I get it. We want UFOs to be flying saucers. I get that. But the videoing is pretty clear here. It's not bizarre and fuzzy like some of these that I'll show you tonight. And so I am not advocating that these are legit UFOs. I'm just saying the quality of the video seems to be decent in these, more or less. And it's helpful to me personally, right? So this is the approach that I'm taking. This is fire in the sky in Russia. It's not lightning. His camera kind of, he tries to adjust and focus and zoom in, and it blurs it really bad, but it's not lightning. And it doesn't appear to be a flare, because a flare would last longer. So my question is he doing this through a window? And is that actually the ghost image of something behind him in the room? I don't know, but that is a remarkably interesting video. Kind of cool. It did go in and out of focus, right? And the shape of it, I don't know. The color and all that, that's kind of weird. A string of lights like that. That might be a clue. A string of lights is something behind him on a string of lights that's reflecting in the window, right? We always have to take care to look into those particular types of angles when we are exploring videos. CGI video is coming, and unfortunately it makes this process very, very much harder to do, to identify legit UFOs as opposed to those that are man-made, because people want to debunk them for whatever reason. And so this one is extremely interesting because it's through a telescope. But observe the UFO that this gentleman says flying past the moon, he captures through a telescope. And it is remarkable because if this is accurate through his telescope looking at this moon, these UFOs are gigantic. They are huge, dozens of miles huge is how big they're going to be. I think this is really interesting. Now, again, you can see them zipping by there, yeah? Now, from this distance, those are huge, and then they fly off and disappear. Here we are at a little bit closer, but notice the shadows of them on the moon. That is so fascinating. That is really interesting. Some people say that they were, and they kind of look like a tic-tac somewhat. And these same styles and shapes have been seen elsewhere as well. So were they pieces of comet or something like that? Space dust, debris? It's unlikely, because from this distance, those are gigantic. So I think that's quite remarkable. It could be CGI. It truly could. So that's the one that I thought was very, very interesting. This is really interesting how this disappears and reappears elsewhere instantly. That's not how a plane travels at all. This one is quite fascinating. That's pretty clear to see how that works. And then here it is from a further distance angle. What is that? Yeah, how does that work? I think that is one of the more intriguing ones without question. I really am glad I found this one. Watch, it appears elsewhere in the sky, right there. And then it's crazy. It moves so oddly. That is really quite remarkable. And it's far enough away that it's not a smooth motion. It's like it's got a quantum motion, you know. That's a fascinating. I honestly think that's one of the more convincing ones. And like I say, there may actually be a completely natural explanation to this. But from my point of view, at this point in time, that one is one of the best. It is extremely interesting. Now let's go to the next section. This one is very striking. Now, I get it. It's cloudy. It's cloudy. Perhaps those are reflections from a city underneath those clouds at night. But when you look at it, the light seems to come from within the clouds. Is it a UFO in the clouds, or is it several UFOs in the clouds? I honestly don't know, but that's intriguing. I wish it was more clear, but a camera has trouble focusing on clouds in the first place, and lights in the clouds aren't going to focus any clearer. Notice how clear the shadows are, but the clouds aren't. That's part of the problem with the cameras, right? So that's just what we're stuck with at this point. But I think that was intriguing. So there's two of them there that I find interesting enough that I will see if I can track down some more information on those. Kind of interesting. And then let's keep going to the very next one as well. Yeah. This is from this is fascinating. This guy did this from his porch, out on his porch on his hotel lobby. What is that? That is spectacular. He's showing the side there so that he can focus back over on it, and that was going on above the building. Wow. Wow. And then this one is somewhat intriguing as well. Are those birds? Notice how they're revolving around the moon. Now, these could be birds, but do birds fly at night? I've read that geese will do that sometimes. They fly at night. But these aren't geese and they aren't birds. The motion is really weird in that figure 8. So that is quite intriguing. One of the more rub your chin, you wonder, wow, would that be a reflection through the glass? Except he's out on his balcony videoing that. So, and it was in China. Okay, this next one is the Quebec alien.
In the winter of 1992, an individual in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, is said to have been shown photos of an alleged extraterrestrial biological entity, or EBE, by an acquaintance. The EBE was supposedly discovered by a snowmobiler in a field or wooded area not far from the road. When questioned further, the acquaintance revealed that the images belonged to their cousin, who was from the Red River area in L'Annonciation, Quebec. The witnesses were supposedly unsure of what to do with the body, so they left it at the site overnight, only to find that it was gone the next day. The photos were later shown to ufologist Claude McDuff, who discouraged the individual from pursuing the matter further. Despite the warning, the individual eventually shared the photos in his YouTube video, seen here posted to the platform by Strange Videos. The footage has since garnered hundreds of thousands of views. The release of the video prompted diverse responses, as some delved into analysing the figure's anatomical structure, positing that its atypical proportions could potentially indicate a non-human origin. Enthusiasm for the photos diminished over time, but in 2017, a video allegedly originating from the dark web surfaced, purporting to depict the capture of an extraterrestrial in Switzerland. This development reignited interest in the 1992 incident. To this day, the Red River EBE mystery remains unsolved, with numerous theories and explanations offered, but no definitive conclusion. Interestingly, it's been noted that the photos bear a striking resemblance to the cover image of a 1990 novel by French ufologist Jimmy Go.
Now, I want you to remember something. Look how clear this photograph is of this guy. Okay? Understand something. Does that convince you that those are alien bodies? Because it sure doesn't convince me. It was fuzzy. See, this whole story does not pass the smell test. It stinks, quite frankly. Number one, it's from someone's brother's cousin twice removed or whatever. It's so far away in provenance that it can be invented, and it's obviously invented because they come across, I mean, imagine this happens to you. You come across a crash site and there's an alien body, and you don't know what to do with it, and so you leave it overnight. I mean, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You leave it there? Is anyone convinced of this story? I mean, that is baffling BS from the get-go. Seriously. The next thing that I noticed is, and I want to go back through, and I'll turn the sound down, and I'm going to give you my commentary of this particular clip. Let's move back. I want you to notice how crystal clear he is, okay? And let's go back through this real quick. Okay, hold on. Okay, they're here. Okay, and obviously this is a model. That is not a real alien. That is not a picture of a real alien. The eyes are completely hokey. It looks like clay or plastic, some kind of a polymer or whatever. That is not a real alien. But here's what gets me, seriously. So they show this to this ufologist, and he says, don't pursue. Now, look at, why is this so fuzzy? You're here with alien bodies, and all you can do is back up, back off, and do a vague sort of distant, fuzzy video. There's no pictures. That looks completely hokey. The eyes are all wrong. This just does not look real at all. Look at how that arm's shaped. This has obviously been made. I mean, the eyes look like a piece of plastic or something. That's not a dead alien. It looks fuzzy. You know, that's some kind of a cloth. This is all being held up by sticks and all. I just don't, that looks hokey. Why such a lousy video? And you leave the bodies, you don't take them with you, and you leave the bodies, they're gone the next day. You don't take thousands of pictures. You don't take the bodies with you, and you don't bother to get a really good crystal clear video and take care to document and look it all over, etc. You get just a few distant, far away shots. Come on. It is crap like this that convinces the skeptics that there is no such thing as aliens. That doesn't carry conviction. So I just wanted to share that because I was so shocked. And we're not done with this type of ridiculous stupidity either. In fact, in some ways, it gets worse. This next story is so stupid that it's astonishing. that so many people believed it. This is not how you would do it.
Are we alone in the universe? This is a question that has fascinated humankind for centuries. If this video uploaded to the YouTube channel Paranormal Witness is anything to go by, it seems that the answer to this question is no. There's very little accompanying information other than the footage was supposedly captured somewhere in the state of Massachusetts in the United States. The clip, which was captured at 9, shows a young girl walking down the steps of what is presumably their home. She's not alone, however, as an unidentified camera holder follows closely behind. It's unclear why the footage is being shot in the first place. Perhaps they heard a strange noise and decided to investigate.
Yeah.
Whatever the reason, the girl walks down the stairs and heads outside into the darkness of the night.
Send a girl out dark.
For a few seconds, the footage is indiscernible. Moments later, something truly bizarre is caught on camera. Watch. As you can see, they're confronted by a creepy large-headed creature peering out from behind a tree. Its face is pale and it has large dark eyes. Its head is pointed at the bottom, giving its face an inverted triangular shape. There's little denying that the creature certainly resembles the classic depiction of an alien grey.
Yeah, so my question is, if this is supposed to be real, now my suspicion, honest to goodness, is they're playing a joke on this little girl. Because if you really did hear a noise outside in the dark, you're not going to send a little 13-year-old girl out there to investigate, right? So this is some kind of a prank. But if it's supposed to be real, if you had your phone camera now and you ran across that, would you immediately turn and quit videoing it? I mean, they didn't run or jump or get startled. It was just a quick and then out. It's almost like it was planned to make you jump, right? But if it was real and you have the light, if you get your camera to video that, wouldn't you leave it on the alien and see where the alien goes? It's stuff like this that just doesn't work for me. It just doesn't. I'm sorry if that bothers anybody, but yeah. Why do you quit videoing, right?
Video is supposedly evidence of one of his alien encounters. The story goes that on the night this footage was captured, Romanek had fallen asleep at his computer, while his stepson was having a sleepover with some friends. Something woke him in the middle of the night. In a sleepy haze, he thought he saw one of the young partygoers streak through the house naked. However, when he checked on the children, all of them were upstairs asleep. Just when he was about to give up his search, he spotted something terrifying at his sliding glass door. Watch. As you can see, the creature looks remarkably similar to the one we were talking about earlier in this video. It has grey skin and dark almond-shaped eyes. Again, much like the typical aliens seen in pop culture. It watches motionless from the doorway, even as the camera is pointed straight at it. So what do you think? Are Romanek's claims that he's had close encounters with extraterrestrials the real deal? This video has been analysed by numerous...
I think it's not really convincing, because why would he stop videoing? You know, when the thing slips around behind, you're going to want to keep videoing that UFO alien. If there's an alien like that, you would want to keep videoing it, wouldn't you? Now, of course, you're probably scared spitless. Why didn't he jump or anything like that? It's almost as if he deliberately intended to catch that puppet of a UFO alien and then get the video to try to convince you they're real, right? Because I have never seen an alien, so I might be entirely off. I get it. I am not mocking anyone else who has ever seen aliens. That's not what I'm doing. I'm saying this kind of evidence is unconvincing to me. That doesn't mean aliens are fake and don't exist. That doesn't mean the UFOs don't happen. I know there are people who are experiencing them. I get that. I'm not claiming that this means everyone's lying. No, I am not saying that at all. I am saying this kind of evidence doesn't convince me personally. Now, some of the earlier clips were extremely provocative and intriguing. Those might have some validity to them. This stuff here with the alien creatures and stuff, it just doesn't. So,
a few weeks from China, where many people were captivated by a very strange sighting. Take a look. A strange event took place where the sun appeared to multiply in the sky. If you look closely, 7 suns can be counted. This led to many people referring to passages from the Bible regarding the end of times. Luke 21:25 reads, "And there shall be signs in the sun." And while it may be frightening to some, others claim the appearance of 7 suns in the sky in China was actually an optical illusion caused by light refraction through the glass of a hospital window. Some comments online argue that this theory doesn't make sense. If that were the case, why wouldn't people see this all the time? Also, if it was a particular hospital window, why are there several videos from different angles of the same thing? Nonetheless, it would definitely be off-putting to say the least.
It would be off-putting, but look, the clouds in front of all of those other suns are exactly the same. This is a reflection through glass from his motel window or his hotel window. So to bring in the what we do is we sensationalize the normal to bring in the apocalyptic end of the world. This is a sign in the heavens. Jesus is coming back soon. Oh my God, we're in trouble. Bring the Bible prophecies in, etc., when it's just simply a reflection of the glass and he took the picture. This is one of the inherent problematic issues with all of this study. Is just because something weird happens does not mean extraterrestrial alien from out in distant space, any more than it means, oh my God, the apocalypse is upon us. Jesus is coming tomorrow morning and he's coming pissed. We better get ready. Just because you see something funky in the sky. Sincerely, this is why we need to have a calm, clear head. It's why we need to take up meditation so that we can have control over our flights of fancy and emotion that completely distort our interpretations and make them the most ridiculous things. We need to do better. At the same time, examining all of this quote evidence is very helpful because we know automatically, let's put this out on the table. Seriously, we know without question that at least I'm taking a stab at this. I don't have a scientific survey, right? I have not done a survey. I don't know this. I'm taking a stab in the dark, but I would propose at least 96% of the evidence that we see on the UAP, UFO / alien evidences, whether pictures, videos, or stories passed down by word of mouth from father to son to sister to daughter to cousin to Aunt Jane to Uncle Lou, way back to his best friend back in grade school and on beyond to his great-grandfather, telling him stories about some kind of an alien abduction or whatever. And I'm not mocking alien abductions. I'm saying the vast majority of this material is not reliable. And we just have to face that music. So there is a sifting process. Just because you see it and it looks spectacular, and I'm telling you, that's cool looking. But it's just a reflection of the mirror. Of the window that he's taking this video in. That's all that is. And it's a spectacular effect, but it's not real. That did not happen. No, that's not a sign in heaven like Constantine seeing the burning cross and saying, by this conquer the world. No, this had nothing to do with any of that noise. All of that is just interpretational claptrap. So this is what I say. We end up flying off the handle with interpretations so very fast without any critical thinking. Critical meaning careful, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, what would cause something like that? Because 9 out of 10 times, there really is a genuine, definite, rational, natural interpretation. Sincerely. That doesn't do anything to refute the reality of UAPs or aliens. It's just that we have to be careful.
From here, it looks like a triangle.
Now, this
It
is
is
a
a
fun one.
triangle with a red light in the middle.
3 bright lights in a triangular formation with a red light glowing in the center.
Wow, that's a weird looking craft.
It is. That's unusual. That is weird.
It silently hovers above, moving slowly in the night sky.
Now this is where you need to zoom in.
And as he does, it's apparent that these are not 3 separate objects, but one larger object, as a black outline can vaguely be seen connecting the lights.
That is amazing.
Captivated and confused by the sight, the couple quickly uploaded the video, hoping the online community could offer some insights or similar experiences.
So I haven't looked at that. Like I say, I've only had a chance to just see these and find some that I was hoping would be convincing to me. And you'll notice that only 2 of these are somewhat attractive to me. This last one is quite interesting, but it could be one of the United States military productions, the TR-3B or something like that, T3RB, something like that. We do have triangular craft, and they do have lights on them, and that could be it. We don't know. It was too dark to see that. And it is a black craft that the military has. So, and in many instances with UFO video or pictures of these weird, interesting triangle shapes with the 3 lights in the clouds or at night or whatever, it could be that military vehicle. And this is where the idea, well, then all the alien craft that we ever see videos or pictures of is our own technology. I don't buy that simply because of the Fravor Tic Tac video. That is one of the legitimate ones because of the provenance of it. And we have the witnesses, and we have the camera, the radar, etc. evidence from both the jet fighters and the aircraft carriers and the radar people. That's basically my response to this, trying to help us grasp that it would be so cool if all of this was real, but it's not. It's just not. Not everything you see is valid. Just understand that. Again, just because you read it in a book doesn't mean everything in the book you read is true. Just because it's printed doesn't mean it's actual knowledge. It might be the entire book might be someone's interpretation of a biblical passage or an event in history or of a scientific experiment or of a UFO experience. But again, a person's interpretation is just one view, and it can be wrong, it can be off, it can be correct in some respects and wrong in others, etc. There's so many variables, and we need to keep that in mind. There are so many options, and we need to keep that in mind. But those who want to believe, of us who do believe, we actually have to be extra vigilant, because our bias will mislead us easier into accepting something that may not be correct or accurate or real, as opposed to a skeptic. I don't want that to happen to me. Now, there are some skeptics who will tell me right now, well, it's already happened to you, you dork. You're not supposed to believe any of this stuff. It's all wrong. I think there's enough material out there that refutes that, but it's not as solid as I would like it just yet. We are improving, and that's always encouraging to me. So I'm going to hold out for now. Again, I'm not trying to become a debunker, but this comes with the territory. We really cannot afford to just accept everything you see on YouTube as true. If Donald Trump's claim of fake news becomes entirely relevant to us now in this subject, because I'm willing to bet that the majority of what I showed you tonight is fake news. The interpretation, the guesswork. He keeps bringing in, is this something from another world? Or is this alien? And one of the other guys said, is this normal, or are we dealing with a non-human intelligence, etc.? That very assumption could be complete fake news. There might be a perfectly natural explanation for what we see and what we hear and what we read. So that's my hope. But it is exciting to see there might be a couple of things here that maybe I can sink my teeth into and look into deeper, as opposed to what I had showed in the previous two videos, in which nothing in those was worth spit as far as I was concerned. So thanks again for indulging me and watching my Backyard Professor Responds. I'll have a lot more. I am going to do a part 2 on Diane Pasulka on my Sunday live. There were many, many people who watched that live and want the second part, and I am working on that as well. So we will have a part 2 on Sunday night. In the meantime, I'm going to make a lot more videos between now and then. So have a good night. Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit like and subscribe. Share this video with everybody you know how. And I will see you soon out here on YouTube land, chasing down the UAPs and contending with the aliens.